Pivot, pivot, pivot. Hey, welcome to another How Lou Sees It. I am looking at Clue, the Friends edition, the one with the secrets. Make sure they don't know that you know what they know. Actually works really well in this Clue. The theme works really well for Clue in this edition. Let's go ahead and show you what comes in the box. The 2 to 6 players is your player count on this. And this is mainly going to be a review of the Friends edition. What's new in the Friends edition, the components, how they incorporated the theme itself, not necessarily a review on the game Clue itself. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. The rules are very well laid out here, and the distinction is most of these newer Clue versions come with a separate deck of cards. They call this deck in this version the Gossip deck, and we'll kind of talk about that as I go through the cards a little bit more and show you the board. But basically it adds, if you haven't played any of the more recent versions, it adds a space on the board with this question mark, as well as a one of the die faces is a question mark, and it provides the option of drawing a card from that deck. Things that can definitely help out, but also in this deck called Confession Cards, which is basically a time kind of a counting down clock here to the end of the game, because if you draw the 8th confession card as you're going through that deck, the game ends and everyone loses basically. It's kind of an interesting thing. I first experienced that with the Finding Nemo version, but let's go ahead and get into it. In this version of Clue, the idea and concept here is, there's all these secrets that are kind of being kept between one another. And the idea is you're trying to figure out what the secret is, basically, and who spilled the secret and where it happened. And I think it actually works really well. I'll show you some of the tokens close up, but here's a little kind of key for you on the tokens. And if I can get it to, there we go. I've been having a hard time with the focus lately. A copy of Science Boys, Phoebe mugged Ross, lipstick. Joey was a Japanese lipstick model. Flowers. Rachel still has feelings for Ross. Phone. Monica's nickname for Chandler is Mr. Big. Turkey moist maker sandwich. Ross got put on sabbatical at work. And taxi. Monica and Chandler moving to the suburbs. So let's go ahead and show you some of the cards. Who were the characters in this version? Do I even really need to ask that? You know who's in here, right? How you doing? This is Joey. So we have Joey in here. You can also play with these abilities, which is just basically a one-time power that you can utilize throughout the game. But once you use it, you flip it over. And a little nice touch. They put Joey's grabbing a latte. So Joey's power here, once per game, you can actually propose a plan using a location you are not in. So usually in the game of Clue, you need to be in that room. This case, you don't need to. The proposed character in the plan is moved to the location name. Here's Phoebe. So her ability is once per game. You may propose 2 plans in the same turn. So that's pretty powerful. Chandler Bing, once per game, you may randomly pick a card to look at from someone you just showed a card to. Rachel Green, once per game, you may move to any location. These are my least favorite abilities in these versions, are the moving ones. But again, it could be helpful, but it doesn't seem quite as powerful as some of the other ones. I wasn't showing the other ones, but you kind of discover some of those. They each have their own, kind of what they order. Ross Geller, once per game, you may look at a card that a player has just shown another player. Nice tea, apparently. Monica Geller, once per game, you may move twice, roll the dice, move, and then roll again. Again, these movement abilities, not my favorite, but great pictures of all the characters there. And yeah, I think they work really well. Again, as far as the abilities go, I don't like those move abilities, but maybe that's just me. Let's look at the deck of cards here. So we have some, like I mentioned before, this gossip deck. So you have this, you shuffle this up, and you'll find different confession cards, but I do appreciate what they did with this. So they have, again, screenshots from the different shows. They have some quotes on different neat ones. As you play through, from the different quotes and pictures, you're going to have some laughs as you think back on some of those. We were on a break. Joey doesn't share food. Joey. Pivot. So, yeah. There's some good thematic use of those gossip cards. Let's go ahead and show you the other ones. So, of course, you have the character cards here. The locations have good screenshots that are from that location in the episodes. So, pretty cool. Let's go ahead and show you the board real quick. And what else comes in this? Let's actually show you these. So we have movers, as they call them. Character standees. They're just the cardboard into the plastic, but they match the pictures, and I think they're great, very noticeable. They work out really well. We got our famous envelope. We can put the cards. Here's what your sheet looks like. I think the layout and everything was really good. You have a little note section here, so I like the pad. I think that turned out well. The dice, pretty normal dice, other than the fact that I think it is just one of them. Yeah, just one of them. One of the ones has been changed to that question mark symbol, which allows you, it is a may, to draw one of those gossip cards. Let's show you the tokens before we move on to the board. I'm going to close this out. So I do have to say this version, this version that I got for review, one of the tokens was just so poorly made that I can't recognize it. The App Games has been really good with replacing things, good customer service. So if you do have issues, let them know. But for purposes of this review, I don't know if you can quite tell, but this right here, this lump of metal here is actually a taxi. So had a little issue there, but again, something like that, you can contact them. They should be able to replace that. The other tokens are great. Let's see, I was missing the phone there. So we have the phone. It's turned out really good. We have the lipstick. Here's the science book there. We got the sandwich. We have a bouquet here as well. And again, yes, there is a taxi, which I'm sure is cool looking, but this is just a lump of metal. So no worries there. So let's go over to the board. Now the board is actually really, really well done. Sorry about that. I really like the layout of the board. It has a great look to it. The background behind the pictures is a little busy. And so it's not too bad, but it is a little distracting. I wish it was something a little less busy, but just like the texturing and stuff. Like I wouldn't mind the board in the middle, but the background behind the pictures I think is a little distracting. But the pictures themselves and the layout, and I think everything that way is really cool. So, we have apartment 19 and apartment 20 with the hallway in between. So, very thematic there with the layout of the room. So, anyway, I thought that was really, really well done. We have the hospital, Phoebe's apartment, Central Perk, Monica's parents' house, the balcony, Ross's apartment. And so anyway, I think they did a good job with the layout. We also have, just some drinks here and like the bouquet and the lipstick. You can kind of see some of the items spread out along there. So I think it works really well with the theme. I think they've done a good job with the cards and highlighting, different iconic Friends moments. And so they've done that with the screenshots, with the quotes in the cards. And that is about it. So that is Clue Friends edition, the one with the secrets. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, if you could subscribe, we'd really appreciate that. And we hope you like the other content and videos. Feel free to put any questions that you may have in the comments, and I'll get to them as soon as I can. Thank you very much, and have a great day.